The Happy Prince continued. Here is a short summary of what you heard in the last class. The Happy Prince was a beautiful statue of a real prince. He was covered with gold, he had sapphires for his eyes, and a ruby in his sword. This statue was set on a tall column by his courtiers. The statue of the Happy Prince sees all the mystery of the city. He weeps when he sees people in trouble. He wanted to help them. A swallow stayed at the feet of the statue of the Happy Prince for the night. On the Happy Prince's request, he prolonged his stay and helped the poor with the ruby and the sapphires. When the Happy Prince could not see any more, the swallow decided to stay with him forever. Then he helped the people with the gold covering of the Happy Prince. At the end, he died of frost. The heart of the Happy Prince also broke. Let us now continue reading from page number 32. Alas, I have no ruby now, said the prince. My eyes are all that I have left. They are made of rare sapphires, which were brought out of India 1,000 years ago. He ordered the swallow to pluck out one of them and take it to the playwright. He will sell it to the jeweler and buy firewood and finish his play, he said. Dear prince, said the swallow, I cannot do that, and he began to weep. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince, do as I command you. So the swallow plucked out the prince's eye and flew away to the young man's garret. It was easy enough to enter in, as there was a hole in the roof. Through this he darted and came into the room. The young man had his head buried in his hands, so he did not hear the flutter of the bird's wings. And when he looked up, he found the beautiful sapphire lying on the withered violets. I am beginning to be appreciated, he cried. This is from some great admirer. Now I can finish my play. And he looked quite happy. This is what the swallow did for the prince. The prince saw that the young man was unable to finish his play because of the cold. So he asked the swallow to pluck the sapphire from his eyes and give to this playwright so that he could warm himself and complete the play. And the man was very happy and he was able to complete it. The next day, the swallow flew down to the harbor. He sat on the mast of a large vessel and watched the sailors working. I am going to Egypt, cried the swallow. But nobody minded. And when the moon rose, he flew back to the Happy Prince. I have come to bid you goodbye, he cried. So, after accomplishing two tasks, which was ordered by the Happy Prince, he was happy and he was getting ready to fly to Egypt in order to join his friends there. So when he came to the Happy Prince to say him goodbye, the Happy Prince made another request to him. He said, Swallow, swallow, little swallow, will you not stay with me one night longer? The swallow said, It's winter, and the snow will soon be here. In Egypt, the sun is warm on the green palm trees, and the crocodiles lie in the mud and look lazily about them. So, when the Happy Prince requested the swallow to stay one night longer to be his messenger, the swallow told him that he is expected in Egypt and he wanted to enjoy the beauty of the nature along with his friends. The prince continued. In the square below, said the Happy Prince, there stands a little match girl. She has let her matches fall in the gutter, and they are all spoiled. Her father will beat her if she does not bring home some money. And she is crying. She has no shoes or stockings, and her little head is bare. Pluck out my other eye and give it to her, and her father will not beat her. So the swallow is making, the happy prince is making a third request to the swallow. He's asking to the swallow to stay with him one night longer and then to be his messenger, to help the little girl, match girl, who is crying because he had lost all her matches in the gutter. She's afraid to go home because she knew that her father would beat her. So he wanted to help the little girl. I will stay with you one night longer, said the swallow, but I cannot pluck out the eye. You would be quite blind then, because now he has only one eye left. The other sapphire was removed, and now the prince wants to give the sapphire from the second eye also, and the swallow did not want to make the happy prince blind. The prince said, "Swallow, swallow, little swallow, do as I command you." So he plucked out the prince's other eye and darted down with it. He swooped past the match girl and slipped the jewel into the palm of her hand. "What a lovely bit of glass!" cried the little girl, and she ran home laughing. Now the girl was very happy when she got this sapphire, and she had no more fear of her father. She ran home laughing. Then the swallow came back to the prince. "You are blind now," he said, "so I will stay with you always." "No, little swallow," said the poor prince, "you must go away to Egypt." "No, I will stay with you always," said the swallow, and he slept at the prince's feet. Now that the happy prince had become completely blind, the swallow did not want to leave the prince, although the prince told him to go away to Egypt. So he stayed on at the prince's feet. All the next day he sat on the prince's shoulder and told him stories of what he had seen in strange lands. "Dear little swallow," said the prince, "you tell me of marvelous things, but more marvelous than anything is the suffering of men and women. There is no mystery so great as misery. Fly over my city, little swallow, and tell me what you see there." Now, the next day the swallow sat at the prince's shoulder, and he was telling all the marvelous things that he had seen while he was traveling from one place to another. Then the prince requested him to tell stories of his kingdom. As because he is blind, he is unable to see what's happening in his kingdom, so he asked the swallow to look around and see the miseries, and then tell him how his people were suffering. So the swallow flew over the great city and saw the rich making merry in their beautiful houses, while the beggars were sitting at the gates. He flew into the dark lanes and saw the white faces of starving children looking out listlessly at the black streets. Under the archway of a bridge, two little boys were lying in each other's arms to try and keep themselves warm. "How hungry we are," they said. "You must not lie here," shouted the watchman, and they wandered out in the rain. Then he flew back and told the prince what he had seen. So, as per the request of the happy prince, the swallow flew over the city and saw all that he had witnessed. He narrated to the prince, like he saw the rich making merry, the starving faces of children, all those things, and he went and told to the prince. Now the prince said, "I am covered with fine gold. You must take it off, leaf by leaf, and give it to the poor. The living always think that gold can make them happy." Now the prince is trying his best to make his people happy, so he is requesting the swallow to pluck out the gold. The statue was covered with gold, so to pluck out the gold leaf by leaf and give it to the people who are suffering. Leaf after leaf of the fine gold, the swallow plucked it off, till the happy prince looked quite dull and grey. Leaf after leaf of fine gold he brought to the poor, and the children's faces grew rosier, and they laughed and played in the street. "We have bread now," they cried. So the starving children were very, very happy to get this gold in their hands, and they sold it and got money and bought whatever things they needed, and they became healthy and they were happy. Then the snow came, and after the snow came the frost. The streets looked as if they were made of silver. Everybody went about in furs, and the little boys wore scarlet caps and skated on the ice. Now it was season of winter. The swallow was supposed to go to Egypt before the winter came, but now that he was helping the prince, he got late, and then it was snow all over, and everybody went around in furs. The poor little swallow grew colder and colder, but he would not leave the prince. He loved him too well. He picked up crumbs outside the baker's door when the baker was not looking, and tried to keep himself warm by flapping his wings. So he could not bear the cold, so he flapped his wings and made himself warm. And as for food, he did not get anything, so he went near the baker's shop and got some breadcrumbs. Picked up the breadcrumbs when the baker was not looking. But at last he knew that he was going to die. He had just enough strength to fly up to the prince's shoulder once more. "Goodbye, dear prince," he murmured. "Will you let me kiss your hand?" So finally the swallow had no more strength to survive. He knew that he was going to die. So he gathered all his strength and he flew up to the prince's shoulder and wished him goodbye and told him that he was going. He wanted to kiss his hand. Then the prince said, "I am glad that you are going to Egypt at last, little swallow," said the prince. Now the prince is blind, he is unable to see the condition or the suffering of swallow. So he thought that when he asked goodbye, he thought that he was going to Egypt, and then he was happy. "You have stayed with me too long, but you must kiss me on your lips, for I love you." Then the swallow answered, "It's not to Egypt that I am going," said the swallow. "I am going to the house of death. Death is a brother of sleep, is he not? So the swallow told the prince that he was going to die. And he kissed the happy prince on his lips and fell down dead at his feet. At that moment, a curious crack sounded inside the statue, as if something had broken. So the moment the swallow fell dead at the feet of the happy prince, something broke inside the statue's body. The fact is that the leaden heart had snapped right into two. It certainly was a dreadfully hard frost. So the heart of the prince broke into two pieces as soon as the swallow died. Early the next morning, the mayor was walking in the square below in company with the town councillors. As they passed the column, they looked up at the statue. "Dear me, how shabby the happy prince looks," he said. So the councillor and the mayor and his councillors were passing that way the next day. Then they looked up and saw that the happy prince was looking very shabby, ugly, as he had lost all his gold. "How shabby indeed," cried the town councillors, who always agreed with the mayor, and they went up to look at it. "The ruby has fallen out of his sword, his eyes are gone, and he is golden no longer," said the mayor. "In fact, he is little better than a beggar." So now, when they looked at the prince, they found that he was looking very ugly, shabby. He had no more gold, and he looked no longer beautiful. No longer beautiful, and it was of no use keeping the statue there. They compared him to a beggar. "And here is actually a dead bird at his feet," continued the mayor. "We must really issue a proclamation that birds are to be allowed to die here." And then the town clerk made a note of the suggestion. So the mayor found the swallow dead at the feet of the happy prince, and he made a proclamation that birds are not allowed to die there at the feet of the happy prince. And the clerk noted down. So they pulled down the statue of the happy prince. "As he is no longer beautiful, he is no longer useful," said the art professor of the university. So now, at the order of the mayor, they pulled down the statue of the happy prince because he was no longer looking beautiful there, and no longer useful, because the purpose of the statue kept there was that people who are in misery, who are sad, they look at a statue and be happy. But the happy prince looked no more happy or no more beautiful, so they pulled down the statue. Then they melted the statue in a furnace. What a strange thing, said the overseer of the workmen at the foundry. This broken lead heart will not melt in the furnace. We must throw it away. So they threw it on a dust heap where the dead swallow was also lying. So they took the heart for melting, but the heart was not melting. So what they did, they threw it away in a garbage heap where the dead swallow also was thrown. Now, in heaven, let us see what happened in the kingdom of heaven. Bring me the two most precious things in the city, said God to one of his angels. And the angel brought him the redden heart and the dead bird. So God called his angel and told the angels to bring two things, two most precious things from the city. The angels came down and then they saw from this garbage heap the redden heart of the happy prince and the dead swallow. They took it and took it before God. Then God said, "You have rightly chosen, for in my garden of paradise this little bird shall sing forever, evermore, and in my city of gold the happy prince shall praise me." So the God was very happy with the good deeds that the happy prince and the swallow did. They sacrificed their life in helping others, in serving others, in making others happy. So God was very pleased, and he told that in his kingdom of paradise, garden of paradise, the bird will sing forever and happy prince will praise him. That means this two would be keeping company with God in his paradise.